you so much for joining us on CGTN. We began here in the Chinese capital, where the China State Council Information Office is holding a news conference to release a white paper on China's achievements in women's well-rounded development in the new era. Officials from relevant departments will take questions from the media. Let's go live to the scene.
女士们、先生们，大家下午好。
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to today's State Council Information Office press conference. Today we are happy to brief you on the white paper on China's achievements in women's well-rounded development in the new era. This is the white paper.
同时举行新闻发布会。 介绍和解读白皮书有关内容。
We have with us to brief you on the white paper.
中国妇女事业发展理念，重点介绍党的18大以来，特
The
别
white
是近
paper
5年来，我国在
focused
促
on
进男女平等
the achievements we've made in
事业发展
promoting gender
方面
equality and women's
取得了巨大
development
成就
since the 18th
介绍
National
中
People's
国
Congress.
推动全球妇女事业发展的
It
积极贡献。
included the achievements China made on the global women's development. It has several components, including a preamble, a preface, a content, and a conclusion. It's about 27,000 words.
全面开
There
拓
are
中国
5
妇女事业
chapters.
发展之路。
1, development of China's endeavors concerning women.
促进妇女
2nd,
全面发展
boosting the well-rounded
作为国家
development of
行动
women as a national campaign.
3. 妇女共享
3,
现代化
sharing in
建
the
设
fruits
成
of
果。
modernization.
4. 推
4th,
动妇女
advancing
走在
women's
时代前
development
列。
to the forefront of the
5.
times.
为全球
And
妇女事业
5th,
发展
contributing
贡
to the
献中国
global
力量。
advancement of women.
白皮书以中、英、法、
The white paper is
俄、
available
德、
in
西、
Chinese,
阿、
English,
日、
French,
等8个语种
Russian,
发布，由人民出
Spanish,
版社、
Japanese,
外文出版社
etc.
分别出版，
It is published by the
在全国
People's
新华
Publishing
书店发
House
行。
and is available in
为
Xinhua
帮助大家
bookstores
更好地了解
in
白
many
皮书的有关
places.
内容。
To help you better
今天我
understand the
们
white
非常高
paper,
兴
we are
邀
happy
请
to
到
have
国
with
务院
us
妇女儿童工作委员会副主任、
Deputy Head of the
全国
National
妇联
Working
副主席
Committee on Children
书
and
记
Women
处
under
第
the
一书
State
记
Council,
黄晓薇女士。
Vice President of the
出席
All
新闻发
China
布会，
Women's
介绍
Federation
有
and
关
first member of the
情况，
Secretariat
并
of the
回答
All China
大家
Women's
关心的
Federation,
问题。
Ms. Huang Xiaowei,
出席
who will
今天
brief
新
you
闻发
on the
布会
white
的还
paper
有
and take your
全
questions.
国妇联副
We
主
also
席、
have with us
书记
Vice
处书
President
记
of the All
冯
China
玲女
Women's
士
Federation, Ms. Feng Ling,
全国妇联兼职副主席、中国人民解放军航
Temporary
天员
Vice
大队
President
航天员
of the All
王亚平女士，
China Women's Federation, and
全
astronaut
国妇
Wang
联书记
Yaping,
处书记马列坚女士。
member of the Secretariat of the All China Women's
下面
Federation,
我们
Ms. Ma
请
Lie.
黄晓薇女士介绍有
First
关情况。
I'll give the floor to Ms. Huang Xiaowei.
尊敬的女士们、先生们、
Ladies and
记者朋友
gentlemen,
们，
friends from
大
the
家
press,
下午好。
good
我
afternoon.
非常高兴和
I'm
大
very
家
happy
来共同
to
见
join
证
you
新时代
for the launch
中国
of the
推
white
进
paper,
妇女
China's
全面发
achievements
展的
in
实践
women's
与
well-rounded
成就
development in the new
来提出发
era.
布。首先，我要借此
First
机
of
会
all, I wish to
向
thank
一直
you
以
all
来关心妇女事业发
for
展
your
和
long-standing
妇联
care
工
and
作的
support
朋友们
for the
表示
work of
衷
the
心
All
的
China
感
Women's
谢。
Federation and work related
落
to
实
women's
习近
development
平
in
总书记
China.
的倡议，
As a step to
不久
deliver on
后
President Xi
将
Jinping's
在北
important
京
initiative,
再次召开
we will
全
soon
球妇女峰
host
会。
in Beijing another global leaders
联合
meeting on
国
women
9月8日在
on
日内
September
瓦
the 8th
那么还要在22
in
号
Geneva
在纽约
and
要
soon
举行高级别
on the
的会议
22nd in New
都
York,
是
we
纪
will
念
host in UN
北京
headquarters
世界
high-level
妇女大会
meetings
30
to
周
commemorate the 30th anniversary of the
今天
World Conference on
我们
Women
发布
held in
白皮书
Beijing.
全面展
Today,
示
we are launching
中国
this white
践
paper
行
to
北京宣
showcase
言
the
和
fruitful
行动
results
纲领
we've
的
made
工作成果
on implementing the
介绍
Beijing Declaration
新时
and the
代
platform
促
for
进男
action,
女平等
and to present to
和
you
妇女全
China's
面发
ideas,
展的
practices, and
中国
achievements
理
in
念
promoting
中
gender
国
equality
实践
and women's
中国
all-round
成就
development.
党的18大以来
Since the 18th
习近
National
平
People's
同志为核心
Congress,
的
the
党
CPC
中央
Central Committee with
把
Comrade
妇
Xi
女
Jinping
事
at its
业
core
纳入中国式
has
现
made
代化
advancing
全
women's
局
development
统筹
part
推
of
进
advancing Chinese
形成了
modernization.
习近平总
As
书记
part of the Xi
关于
Jinping thought on
妇女儿
socialism
童
with
和妇联
Chinese
工作
characteristics in the
关于
new
注
era,
重
important
家庭
guidance
家
was
教
made
家
by
风
General
建设
Secretary Xi
的
Jinping
重要
on work
论述
related to women and
这
children,
也是
all around
习
women's
近平
federation, and
新时
family
代
education
中国
and
特色
family
社会主义
values.
思想的重要组成部分。
a number of pioneering, overarching, and forward-looking measures were taken, which contributed to historical achievements in women's development in China. Women's development has been elevated to a new level, and the paths of women's development under socialism with Chinese characteristics are showing strong vitality and unique strength. These are fine examples of China's governance to the world, and injected new elements into the advancement of human civilization. And I wish to brief you on our work with 4 unprecedented levels. First, the commitment and support given by the party and the state to women's development has reached an unprecedented level. In the new era, China has integrated the progress of national development with the advancement of gender equality. The party's leadership has been strengthened on all fronts. The 18th, 19th, and 20th National Congress have all emphasized adhering to the basic national policy of gender equality and protecting the legitimate rights and interests of women and children, setting the tone for women's development. President Xi Jinping made important decisions, and party committees would look into the implementation of these decisions year by year, providing policy support for ensuring women's development. The country's commitment to women's development was fully demonstrated through the promulgation and implementation of a number of laws and regulations, including the first civil code, the anti-domestic violence law, a comprehensive revision of the law on protection of women's rights and interests, the amendments to the criminal law and rural land contracting law. Gender equality evaluation mechanisms for regulations and policies have also been established at both the national and provincial levels. Planning of relevant work has been strengthened. A system that is led by national development plans, centered on the outline for the development of women and supported by special plans in related fields and local plans have been formed, ensuring coordination and alignment. This system guarantees that goals are quantifiable, measures are actionable, tasks are implementable, and results are measurable. A mechanism featuring party committee leadership, government responsibility, coordination by the working committees on women and children, collaboration by women's federations, multi-department cooperation, and participation across the society has been built. With these measures, institutional advantages were turned into effective outcomes for women's development in China. Second, women's sense of fulfillment, happiness, and security have reached an unprecedented level. In the new era, China is committed to safeguarding women's rights and interests and improving women's lives through development. 690 million women have entered moderate prosperity alongside the rest of the population. Women in formerly deeply impoverished areas now live in safe houses, have access to clean water and broadband internet, and they are more confident in all areas of life. Women's health has significantly improved. Their average life expectancy has reached 80.9 years, an increase of 3.5 years since 2010. The systemic management rate for pregnant and postpartum women has risen to 94.9%, up 7.3 percentage points since 2012. The maternal mortality rate has dropped to 14.6 per 100,000. China is now among the top 10 high-performing countries in maternal and child health. Women enjoy balanced and quality education. Gender gap in basic education has been essentially eliminated. Female students account for 50.6% 76% of all higher education enrollments, and STEM education has significantly empowered girls in the field of technology. Education has become the primary driving force for women to lead fulfilling lives. Women's social security is inclusive and substantial. Medical and pension insurance systems now cover all women, who account for over 48% of total enrollees. The number of women covered by unemployment and work-related injury insurances is 1.7 times and 1.6 times that of 2012. The safety net for women in need is robust and secure. Women can now equally share the fruits of modernization, giving them greater confidence in their development. Third, the role of women as half the sky has been fully demonstrated to an unprecedented level across various fields. In the new era, China regards women as an important force in advancing Chinese modernization, encouraging them to write their own stories and pursue their dreams. In terms of high-quality development, women account for 43% of the workforce, 45.8% of science and technology workers, and in new sectors such as digital trade, e-commerce, and live streaming, women account for 1/3 of those employed in these sectors. Women have also demonstrated exceptional creativity in cutting-edge fields like homemade large aircraft, biomedicine, deep-sea exploration, and artificial intelligence. China's first 8K movie, Outside the Window is the Blue Planet, currently on air, was co-filmed by one of those on stage today, female astronaut Wang Yaping and her colleagues. In political participation, the proportion of women among deputies to the 14th National People's Congress, members of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, and delegates to the 20th CPC National Congress has reached record highs. Women account for 26.1% of village committee members and 54.3% of resident committee members, an increase of 4 and 5.5 percentage points since 2012. This is a vivid reflection of the broadest, most genuine and effective practice of democracy. On the cultural front, women account for 45.2% of participants in the National Cultural Talent Program and 1/4 of national-level intangible cultural heritage inheritors. Female cultural talents and their masterpieces continue to emerge. The recent September the 3rd commemorative performance was co-directed by one of the female directors, Zhou Lei. In social governance, 431,000 women's discussion forums, over 7 million executive committee members of women's federations, and 24 million registered volunteers are active in urban and rural communities, helping to resolve issues at the community level, deliver services to people, and carrying forward family education and family values. On ecological conservation, women are guiding families and motivating children to actively take part in afforestation and campaigns on clean plates, garbage sorting, and environmental improvement. Women have created 12 million beautiful country yards, making their contribution to the building of a beautiful China. Fourth, China's involvement in the global governance of women's development has reached an unprecedented level. In the new era, upholding the vision of building a community with a shared future for humanity, China has translated the 4 global initiatives put forward by General Secretary Xi Jinping into concrete actions to promote women's all-round development. We have lived up to our obligations laid out in international conventions, supported the UN in prioritizing women-related work, and established with the UN awards for girls and women's education, and hosted Global Leaders Meeting on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment. We have expanded our circle of friends on women cooperation. We have friendly exchanges with over 140 countries, 420 women's organizations, institutions, and UN agencies. We have implemented empowerment projects worth over $40 million in more than 20 countries, trained over 200,000 female professionals from more than 180 countries and regions, and provided employment assistance to women in over 100 countries. We have also established a global exchange and cooperation center for digital empowerment of women and have held training programs for Chinese and foreign businesswomen in Zhejiang. These are the practical actions we took to bridge the gender digital divide. In response to global challenges, China has dispatched over 1,200 female peacekeepers to UN missions. We've conducted specialized training on climate change response and provided humanitarian assistance to women and children in conflict and disaster-stricken places, demonstrating the responsibility of China as a major country. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, modernization is a common pursuit of people across the world. Achieving that requires greater strength of women and gender equality and women's all-round development at a higher level. China will work hand-in-hand with countries around the world to speed up actions, create a better future for women's development, and write a new chapter in the global development of women. Above is my opening remarks. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Huang Xiaowei. Now the floor is open to questions. Please first identify your media affiliation before raising the question. Thank you.
好，先这边吧，中区第3排中间这位记者，对，穿白衣服。
谢谢主持人。中央广播电视总台记者提
From
问。
China Media.
刚刚系统地介绍了党的18大以来，
You
中国妇
mentioned
女事业
the
取得的历史成
achievements
就。
we've
我
made
们每个人都有
since the
切身的感
18th
受。
National People's
请问一
Congress,
下，在
and
此过
we've
程
all
中形
felt
成了
that
哪些
personally.
促进妇女
So
事业
what
发展的
are
经验？
the good experiences we've gained in this process?
谢谢。
Thank you.
您提的这个问题呢，分量很重。
This
来
is
回答
a significant question. I'll take this one.
新时代，我们党团结
In a
带领
new
人民
era,
书写了2大
Our
奇
party
迹的
has
新篇
rallied
章，
the people in
成功推进
writing
和
a new
拓展
chapter
了
of the two
中
great
国式现
miracles,
代化。
successfully
妇女事
advancing and
业
expanding
也步
Chinese
入了发展水
modernization.
平的
And women's
全
cause
方位
has
跃
also
升。
entered a
妇
golden
女的作
period
用
of
更丰富，
development,
妇女
featuring
受益受惠更多了，
more
发展
prominent
环境
roles for
也
women,
更为
greater
优化，
benefits
是
for
这样一
women,
个黄
and
金
a
的发
better
展期。
development environment for
实践当
women.
中，
In
我们积
practice,
累了一些宝贵的经
We
验。
have accumulated valuable experience.
一是坚强，
First,
一是坚持党的全面领导。
we
这是妇
uphold the
女事
party's
业
overall
始终
leadership.
沿着正确方向
This
前
is
进
the
的
fundamental
根本保
guarantee
证。
that ensures
习
women's
近平
cause
总书记
always
每
advances in the
年
right
38
direction.
节都要向全国的妇女
On a
致以
Women's Day
节
every
日的
year,
祝福
General
和
Secretary
美
Xi
好的祝
Jinping
愿，
will express
而且
his
连续
regards
3
to
次
women.
出席
And he
全国
attended
妇女代表大会，
The
3
All
次
China
同
Women's
全国妇联
Representatives
新一
meeting
届
3
领导班子
times
集体成员
and met
集体谈
with
话，
the
并
leadership of
发
the
表重要
All
讲话，
China's Women's
发表
Federation
一系列
3
重要
times
论
and
述。
delivered important
新时代
remarks in this
妇女
regard.
事业的每一步跨越，
The
每
every
一项成就，
step forward
都
and
根本在
achievement
于
made in
有
women's
习
cause
近
in a new
平总书
era
记作为党的
are
核心，
fundamentally because of the guidance of
作为党中央的
General
核心，
Secretary Xi
全党的
Jinping
核
as
心，
the call of
领
the
航
CPC
掌
Central
舵，
Committee and
有
the
习
call of
近
the
平
whole
新时
party
代中国特色社会主义思
and
想
the
的
guidance of the Xi Jinping
科
thought
学指引。我们
on
坚定
socialism
拥
with
护
Chinese
两个确立，
characteristics for the new
坚
era.
决
We
做到
firmly
两个
uphold the
维
two
护，
establishments
始终
and
在
resolutely
思
adhere
想上、
to the two
政治
safeguards.
上、行动上，同
We
以
have
习近平同志
closely
为
followed
核
the
心的
CPC Central
党中
Committee
央
with
保
Comrade
持
Xi
高
Jinping
度的
at
一
its
致。
core in terms of thinking,
二
political
是
orientation
坚
and
持牢
actions.
牢把握
Second,
时代的主题。
We have firmly
妇女
kept
事
to the
业
theme of the
从来
times.
都
Women's
是同
cause
党的中心任务
has
紧
been
密
closely
联系在
linked
一起的。
to the
我
party's
们
central
牢牢把
tasks.
握实现中华民族伟大复兴
We
这
have
一时代主
firmly
题。
held on to the theme of realizing the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation, a theme of our times, inspired women's sense of historical responsibility and ownership, and mobilized them to integrate their life ideals and family happiness into the grand endeavor of national prosperity, national rejuvenation, and people's well-being. They have become contributors to this joint cause, advocates of civilized customs, and chased their dreams courageously. Third, we uphold the basic national policy of gender equality. Promoting gender equality and all-round development of women is an essential component of Chinese modernization. In formulating laws, policies, and plans, we've fully considered the difference between genders and women's interests. We have created an enabling environment, removed obstacles, and provided conditions for women's comprehensive development, ensured balanced progress between urban and rural areas, between different regions and different social groups, and synchronized and coordinated development between women's cause and economic and social advancement. Fourth, we uphold the principal role of women. Women are a powerful force driving human civilization and progress, and the masters and creators of their own future. We have combined empowering women with unleashing their creativity and integrated safeguarding the lawful rights and interests of women with promoting their all-round development. We encourage women to uphold self-respect, confidence, independence, and self-reliance, and harness their unique role in both social and family life, and ensure that women can participate, benefit, and develop equally. These are the 4 points I would like to share. Thank you. Next question, please.
谢谢主持人。新华和客户端记者提问。那妇幼健康是全民健康的基石。
Women and kids' health is a foundation for national health. There has been a great improvement in this regard. China has reached the standards of middle and income countries in this regard. So what are the achievements made in this prospect?
Thank you for your question. The health of women and children is a prerequisite for sustainable development. China has placed the protection of people's health in a strategic position of priority development and comprehensively advancing the Healthy China initiative to provide women with life cycle health services. And we have continuously improved the maternal and child health service system. The maternal and child health services have been integrated into the broader healthcare network serving 1.4 billion people. And we have established a comprehensive system with maternal and child health institution at its core and primary level healthcare facilities as foundation and large and medium-sized hospital and research institutions as support. Currently, there are 381 maternal and child health institutions, 3,491 critical maternal care center and 3,221 critical newborn care centers across the countries, and over 2,600 secondary level or above traditional Chinese medicine hospital have established relevant departments. In the meantime, we are also focusing our efforts on tackling key issues, for example, to reduce the maternal and newborns mortality. And we have implemented 5 maternal and infant safety protocols. Pregnant women are classified and managed according to 5 color-coded risk level, based on the severity of pregnancy-related risks, and high-risk groups are closely monitored. And emergency and critical care capabilities such as are strengthened to effectively protect maternal and infant health. As of cervical and breast cancers, the state have adopted a comprehensive prevention and control strategy. Through health education and HPV vaccination, we aim to achieve early prevention. Recently, authorities have announced that the HPV vaccine will be included in the national immunization program this year. And through two cancer screening program, we strive for early detection. Since 2009, over 342 million free cervical cancer screening and 245 million breast cancer screening have been successfully conducted. And by enhancing early diagnosis and treatment, we are striving to achieve early recovery. The state has invested 3.01 billion yuan to support affected women. We've also launched the Healthy China Mother Initiative, vigorously promoting health education to improve women's health literacy through multiple measures. China's core maternal and child health indicators ranked among the best among upper-middle income countries globally, achieving the relevant targets of the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Goals ahead of schedule. Thank you. More questions, please. Thank you very much. Chinese Education Network. My question goes to Madam Wang Yaping. China's female astronaut not only achieved the dreams for women working in space, and through lectures, you have also sowed the dream for scientific exploration. And from your perspective, in the process of China trying to achieve self-reliance in high technology, how can we better unleash the potential of Chinese women?
Well, thank you for your question, and thank you for your care. As an astronaut, there are many outstanding female researchers and scientists around me, and they are the underpinning power for the scientific development of China. And I know that our country has rolled out policies so that women can play a greater role in the development of science and technology of our country. First, policies provide institutional support. 13 departments introduced special measures to provide institutional support from 16 aspects. For example, the National Natural Science Foundation relaxed the age restrictions for female applicants. Research institutes have implemented childcare subsidies and flexible working arrangements to relieve the pressure during pregnancy and childcare for women so that they can do their job carefree. I think that these policies have enabled many talented women to balance family and career and be independent, confident, and fully harness their wisdom. Second, to create enabling environment for both genders. For example, in astronaut training, standards are pretty much identical for men and women. Female astronauts undergo the same centrifuge EVA and desert survival training as their male counterparts. In orbit, our space repairs and experiments rely on professionalism. This kind of inclusive environment has allowed me and my colleagues to fulfill our space dreams. I fulfilled 2 space missions. And third, role models inspire future generations. The power of model is boundless. As I was profoundly inspired by my predecessors. When having space lectures and science outreach, I can see children's aspiration with the cosmos and thirst for knowledge. A girl named Wang Nan, a high school student who attended the space lesson, actually embarked on a decade-long scientific journey after that 1-hour lecture. Now she is one of my colleagues, and there are many examples like this. Space education sparks dreams, providing that with effort the stars are within reach. I have seen more and more women shouldering development responsibilities in the field of science and technology. For example, the Zhongguancun Forum, Pujiang Innovation Conference, the World AI Conference now regularly feature women in tech summits. In innovation, women's contributions are irreplaceable. I hope to join sisters from different fields in pursuing our dreams and contributing to building China into a tech-strong country in science and technology. Next question, please.
中间吧，第二排这位记者。
谢谢主持人，我是长江日报的记者。
With Changjiang Daily. The women's federations are bridges connecting the party and the government with the women. As a woman, I myself, I can really feel rest assured when having my family backing us. So what has been done in this regard?
Thank you for your question. You say that the Women's Federation is like a family for all women, and I feel that this question comes from the bottom of your heart. In fact, promoting gender equality and women's development requires the collective efforts across the society. As a bridge connecting the party, the government, and women, the Women's Federation plays an indispensable role. Here, I will focus on 4 key areas of our work. First, we focus on forging consensus and unity. We've implemented the Women's Hearts with the Party initiative. We've conducted extensive learning and communication campaigns, publishing important books, including bringing Xi Jinping thought into households, compilations and interpretations of President Xi Jinping's expositions on women and children's work, and also on emphasizing family education, and family values. These books and materials have brought the party's theories into ordinary households. With the theme of One Family, One Country, we've launched a number of social media products like showcasing New Year's flavor for Spring Festival, sharing dreams for International Women's Day, and passing on family values for International Day of Families. Since last year alone, these products have had a viewership of over 20.8 billion. We regularly select advanced role models such as March the 8th red banner holders to inspire people with their examples and promote positive energy. Second, we focus on building platforms. We've implemented a series of women's achievements initiatives. We've carried out the Women's Action for Rural Revitalization, which trained over 8 million rural women in total and supported the development of more than 290,000 women's cooperatives and family farms. We've implemented the Women in Science and Technology Innovation Action. As Wang Yaping just said, this is something that we've done together with the Ministry of Science and Technology, the National Natural Science Foundation, and other 10 institutions. And this is highly appreciated by many women across the society. This has helped women to live a fulfilling life. We've also implemented the Women's Employment and Entrepreneurship Promotion Action, connecting with over 3,000 platforms supporting women's employment, and we've facilitated the employment for 2 million person times. Third, we focus on care and services. We've implemented the Warm Hearts for Women's Rights initiative. From 2018 to 2023, we've participated in the formulation and revision of close to 300 laws, regulations, and policy documents. We've enhanced coordination. We've established rights protection working mechanisms with over 20 ministries and commissions, including the Supreme People's Court, the Supreme People's Procuratorate, and the Ministry of Public Security. We've provided targeted assistance. We've partnered with 8 departments to implement a 3-year action for caring mothers. Under this initiative, we've recruited over 2.75 million caring mothers to provide one-on-one or many-on-one support to 2.49 million left behind and vulnerable children. Fourth, we've implemented the Women's Action for Family Services by advancing the building of family civility through activities such as Most Beautiful Families and tours promoting good family traditions. And we've provided much-needed support to families and children in need. Fourth, focusing on family values. We've advanced the building of family civility through a number of activities, such as tours promoting good family traditions, fostering a new socialist trend in family civility. We've improved the family education and service system. We've established over 400,000 community offline parents' schools and created online family education service parks. We took innovative measures to provide marriage services. We've organized public welfare matchmaking events like Happiness Hotline, and we've held weddings, cultivating a new culture of marriage and childbearing while opposing exorbitant dowries. We've improved the quality of and expanded women's housekeeping services. We've trained so far over 1 million professionals annually and have helped more than 900,000 women to find employment in the housekeeping sector. And in this sector, one woman finds employment would benefit 2 families. So indeed, the Women's Federation has a lot of work on our plate, but you can see that our work is both extensive and diverse. Next question, please. From Women's Paper, I've taken note that on the white paper, it was mentioned women's equal participation in the all-round people's democracy. So what are the women's role in promoting community-level governance?
Very important question. Ms. Feng Ling is from China's localities, and she will take this question. Oh, thank you for the question. Because of my job, I and my colleagues frequently visit communities where we meet many capable female heads of village and neighborhood committees. In local industrial development, rural cultural advancement, and environmental improvement, they are trailblazers. For example, in Hebei of Henan province, a 28-year-old woman was selected as the head of her village committee in 2021. Over the past 5 years, she revitalized rural tourism through mural paintings and boosted sales of local products such as millet and pumpkins via live streaming, turning her village into an internet sensation, which has helped to increase local income. So the local people always say that she may be young, but she's really capable. Between 2012 to 2022, the proportion of women in village committees nationwide increased by 4 percentage points, while in neighborhood committees, the number rose by 5.5 percentage points. From revising laws and regulations governing villages and neighborhood committees to improving village codes and conventions at the national and subnational level, through a series of institutional arrangements, we have ensured women's equal participation in the most authentic, extensive, and effective democratic practices. And Ms. Huang Xiaowei has also elaborated on this topic. Due to their familiarity with local communities, women play multifaceted roles in community-level governance, playing irreplaceable roles. They act as mediators, resolving neighborhood and family disputes. As public servants, promoting policies, caring for the elderly and children, and improving environments as models of civilized way of life, upholding family values and rural traditions to foster social progress. and as participants of governance, offering insights through women's councils to enhance community development and livelihoods. With her wisdom and her strength, they have brought warmth and vitality to community-level governance. Thank you. Next question, please. With Xinhua News Agency, since 1995, China has formulated 4 women's development outline. How has China guided the development of women through the release of these outlines?
This question will be taken by Ma Liejian. Thank you for your question. Planning is a key institutional arrangement for advancing women's development and implementing the basic national policy of gender equality. In this new era, China has intensified its effort to plan for women's development in a more comprehensive and responsive manner, addressing women's need and expectation. This is mainly achieved through 3 approaches. First, the National Development Plan explicitly set out strategic tasks for women's development. For example, in the 12th five-year plan was first time to include a dedicated section on women's all-round development, proposing requirements such as developing women's human resources and strengthening labor protection for women. And the 13th five-year plan further strengthened the protection of women's rights, dedicating a chapter for this first time to ensure women's equal rights and opportunities in education, opportunity, and employment, as well as participation in social affairs. The 14th five-year plan continued to set goals for women's rights in all areas, introducing for the first time a dedicated section on strengthening the royal family and optimizing policy measures to support development of women and family. Second, sector-specific plans respond to practical needs of women's development. For instance, the Healthy China Education Powerhouse Initiative, aligned with national medium and long-term talent development programs, include provisions and to strengthen the cultivation and selection of female talent. Third, the Women's Development Program provides a comprehensive deployment of goals for women's development at different stages. Since 1995, China has successively formulated and implemented 4 cycles of women's development programs, scientifically planning and comprehensively deploying goals and tasks for women's development at different stages. For example, the current 2021 to 2030 women's development programs systematically sets 75 main goals and 93 strategic measures across 8 areas. And there are responsible agencies for the implementation of these goals, which also covered 31 provinces, as well as the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps, and the more than 300 cities and 2,000 counties have formulated their local women's development plans based on their actual conditions. The outlines for women's development in China covers a vast population, and the state is ensuring the implementation of its goal by consolidating the principles and responsibilities of government at all levels. At present, the outline is progressing smoothly overall, with more than 75% of its quantitative indicators exceeding expectations. We're now preparing for a midterm review aiming to address weakness and shore up deficiencies so as to lay a more solid foundation and provide stronger safeguards for the all-round development of women. More questions, please. We see there are 2 more journalists wishing to propose a question.
谢谢发言人。中华卫视记者提问。
Thank you.
我了解到，中国女性在
I
电商
understand
行
that
业非常活跃。
Chinese women are very
近
active
期也
in
成中国数据。
e-commerce,
请
and
问中国是
70%
如何
of
促
the
进
live
妇女
streamers are
参
female.
与数字经济
And how is China promoting females' participation in digital economy? How are they sharing the dividend of digitalization?
好的，首先我们非常感谢这位外媒的记者
Well,
来参与
first
我
of
们
all,
今天
thank you
下午
for
的这个发布会。
attending
刚才
our
呢，
press
提了一个
conference this
可以说
afternoon.
是特别热门的话题。
Ms. Yang just said this
正如你
question
所说的
is very
在
popular
数字
one.
经济的这个浪潮里，她力量
In digital economy, she power has become
目前互联网
a beautiful
形成
highlight. Now, female internet entrepreneurs account for more than half of the total. In digital trade and live streaming, women make up 1/3 of the total. In 2024, over 14,000 women obtained AI trainer certificates. China's combination of policy guidance, training and empowerment, and supportive measures has enabled women to further enhance their digital skills, master digital tools, and expand their career opportunities. First, policy guidance. The Chinese Women's Development Outline 2021 to 2030 sets targets to comprehensively improve women's ability to use information technology for participating in high-quality economic and social development. The outline for enhancing digital literacy and skills for all emphasizes strengthening women's digital awareness and capabilities, including the safe use of internet, online engagement, and e-commerce entrepreneurship. Initiatives like the Digital Rural Development Plan and the Digital Skills Enhancement Program for women employees provide diverse roadmaps for digital literacy improvement of women. Second, training and empowerment. The All China Women's Federation, in collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce and Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs, has organized e-commerce and live streaming training courses since 2015. Rural women have put down hosts and picked up smartphones, learning to shoot videos and sell local specialities, turning phones into new farming tools. Stay-at-home moms can access online courses to acquire digital skills easily. Many female e-commerce influencers have been popular online, promoting local products nationwide, even overseas. Third, entrepreneurial support. By integrating digital technology with the real economy, China has helped female entrepreneurs to overcome funding shortages through inclusive finance. Initiatives like the female e-commerce brand provide IP support. While rural e-commerce service stations and urban cloud-based customer services roles have been established. From knowing how to use smartphones to mastering digital tools to AI applications, these examples show that women not only realize self-value in the digital economy, but also become a vital force driving the vibrant growth of e-commerce. Last question. With China Daily. As the Global Women's Summit is about to be hosted, the English versions of President Xi Jinping's quotes on women and children and on family have been published. What does it mean to gender equality and women's development? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Women, children, and family are topics that transcend national, ethnic, and cultural boundaries, and they can resonate universally. In our foreign exchanges, we find that the international community is keenly interested in decode the success behind the Communist Party of China's governance, including its ideas, policy orientation, and practical pathways on women's empowerment, gender equalities, and family building. The English edition, therefore, serves, first of all, as an important and family-focused lens through which worlds can better grasp the rich contents of Xi Jinping thought characteristic for the new era, understand why the CPC works, and why Marxism works, and why socialism with Chinese characteristics works, and they can have a deeper understanding of our party's governance philosophy as well as the practices it's taken. They will surely become an important supporting material for the international community to decode China's path to women's development under socialism with Chinese characteristics. Secondly, globally, women's development faces severe challenges. Nearly 10% of women are mirrored in extreme poverty, and more than 600 million people live in conflict zones, and digital technology and climate change are exerting profound impacts on women. Violence, discrimination, and economic inequalities persist.
习近平总书记带领我们党在妇女工作领域的成功
Successful practices and experience led by President Xi and our party in the field of women fully demonstrated the image of a responsible major country and offered China's concept, wisdom, and solution for the world to meet new challenges. Third, China is both an advocate and a doer in promoting gender equality and women's all-round development. President Xi calls for stronger international cooperation, giving full play to the UN's coordinating role, enriching our toolbox for gender equality, and improving global roadmap for women's development. We have also launched a series of concrete actions in support of global women's causes, which is widely welcomed and highly appreciated by the international community. And the English volumes of these texts will further encourage the international community to integrate the women's issue into an overall framework of building the community with a shared future for humanity and strengthen the action-oriented consensus on global cooperation for women's causes. And we hope that we can have more of these works going global and injecting more sustained momentums in the development of global women's cause. Thank you very much for all the publishers. This concludes today's press conference. Goodbye.